This is all we know about the death of Nigerian singer Osinachi Nkwachuku, whose demise was reported on the 8th of April 2022. It was first reported that she had died from throat cancer. However, not long after the news broke, friends and people closest to her revealed to the public that there was no way she died of throat cancer. That in fact, she had died as a result of consistent domestic violence. It was revealed to the whole world that Osinachi suffered series of physical, verbal, and financial abuse in the hands of her husband, Mr. Peter Nkwachuku. And on the said day she was rushed to the hospital, it is believed that another one of his physical abuse had taken place, in which he beat his wife to the point she fell to the ground and then continuously kicked her to her chest. It's not clear if it's immediately, but eventually she would develop serious chest pain, in which he would take her to the hospital. While in the hospital, neither of them told the doctor what really happened to her. She was only complaining of chest pain.
Okay guys, so on the 8th of April, we heard about the demise of a popular gospel musician in Nigeria called Osinachi Nkwachuku, who she is well known in the Christian community and even outside the Christian community for one of her famous songs, Ekueme. Well, I know the title of the song as Ekueme. Now, initially, it came out that she died from throat cancer. She died as a result of throat cancer, but then her family, her friends came out saying that no, it wasn't throat cancer, but it was due to domestic violence. It was due to abuse that she was suffering, or she suffered from her husband. Now, I'm not married, so when it comes to matters of marriage, I don't really want to say much about it. Like, because I don't know the shit that people are going through in their marriage, and neither do I know the happiness that they are going through their marriage. So I don't really want to say much about that, because in this community in Ghana here, and not just in Ghana, but in Africa, marriage is a sacred entity that you cannot just talk anyhow about it, you know. But then this is what I do not subscribe to: divorce. Because growing up, anytime that I saw people getting divorced, or family, married couples divorced, and I'm like, do they have kids? So I go like, didn't they think about their children? Because nothing. I mean, the people who suffers from broken homes, who suffers from the divorce of their parents, is the kids, obviously. So I'm like, didn't they think about the kids? I'm like, what at all was the problem that they couldn't solve, and then they had to go for divorce? That was how I thought when I was growing up, and then when I hear people getting divorced. But now, as a grown up, you know, people always say that when you were a child, you thought as a child, and when I became an adult, I thought as an adult. So these are some of the things that, as a grown up now, I do believe that do not sit in an abusive marriage. Do not sit in an abusive marriage thinking that, oh, if I leave, the society is going to talk about it. If I leave, my children are going to suffer. If you are in this kind of abusive marriage, physical abuse or verbal abuse marriage, and then you are thinking about the society, and of course, yes, you have to think about the children, but then if you're being physically abused every day, one day you are going to leave the house in the body bag, thinking about your children, and they are still going to end up alone. Look, it is better to be alive and be able to take care of your kids than for you to not be alive because you thought about what was going to happen to your children. Well, this is the case that if she was thinking about her children, she is no more. Her husband, from as at yesterday, what I know is that her husband has been arrested. Now the kids are practically like orphans now. because it's just them. Their father isn't around, their mother isn't around now. She's just going to be with uncles and then aunties. And who better to take care of your children than yourself? Fine, the uncles and aunties are going to do their best, but you, the parents, can't take care of your children than anybody else. Do not take abuse lightly in marriages. Yes, I'm not married, but then do not take it lightly. Whether physical, whether verbal, any form of abuse, either from the husband or either from the wife, do not take it lightly. And here in our setting, not just the women, but then a lot of the husbands, a lot of the men are also going through some form of abuse from their wives, some form of abuse from their wife. And then here we are like, oh, be a man. We're like, be a man. And one day this man is going to be a man, and then something else is going to happen. Anyway, let's go through some comments that people left. People left about this whole domestic violence that she suffered, and that caused her death. So yes, let's go through them. Now this person says, I was in a church show last week, and a lady was sending a voice note to the BF telling him she won't return because he beat her, even though he had promised several times he wouldn't. He had even sat down with her and explained why he beat her, but then this time she wasn't going to return. It was funny and sad at the same time. Look, even man hits you once, twice, 3 times, and he still says that he isn't going to do it again, and he even gives you reasons for doing that. Run. Look, no matter what someone does, no matter what someone says, you don't have the right to beat that person, especially if you are in a relationship with that person, especially if you are married to that person. Nothing gives you the right to hit that person, to abuse that person. You spend your time chasing this person. You spend your time trying to convince yourself and then convincing this person that you love this person and that you're going to be there for the person and all that. So after the convincing and everything, and this person agrees, and you start having a family with the person, and then you start abusing the person. What is wrong with people? She was all right when you went for her from her father's home. He was all right when he came from his father's home for your hand in marriage. Okay, so another person says, I'm extremely sad she is dead, but honestly, Jamaica Krawanahu. Completely absurd to stay in an abusive marriage even at the point of death. Most people, especially women, are normally concerned about what society will say about them when they divorce. Never live your life thinking or caring about what society will say about your decisions. It's a great lesson to us all in whatever we do. Look, nobody knows nobody knows the kind of fire that you are in your marriage but you. Nobody knows that. So if you are being abused every day and you are thinking about society, look, if your husband abuses you and you die, and unfortunately you die, give him a 2 years, he's going to get married again. He's going to forget all about you and then get married again. Even if he is arrested, and when he comes back, he is going to get married. So don't sit and let somebody just use you as a punching bag. And then in all this situation, I am actually feeling for the children. Look, this man was abusing her. It was like abuse, no. you know, in agriculture, there's this procedure that you take different plants and then you stitch them together and then they grow together, you know, that kind of thing. It's like the abuse, no, it is within him. And if she was like, oh, me change, I'm now, he's going to change, he's going to change. If someone starts abusing you and then you're like, he's going to change, madam, sir, there's no way that person is going to change. Now, the children are the ones who are traumatized right now. I mean, they need help. They need people to counsel them. They need people to be with them, because this is something that is going to stay with them. This is something that is just, even if they grow up, it is still going to be at the back of their heads, because they witness everything. And then from other videos that I watched, it was like he would tie up their mother and then he would instruct the kids to be kicking the mother, to be kicking Osinachi. So the kids are the ones who really need help, and then I hope that they get the help that they need, because and this is going to be a trauma for them. Most ladies here are even going through verbal abuse and other stuff just at the relationship stage, and they are thinking the guys will change one day. Sister, ekuweme. Yeah, I know this is a very serious matter, but everybody will forget in a few weeks' time. Some of you even chop beatings this morning, but she will still remain there. They will always use the case as an excuse, but the main reason is because they don't know how to provide for themselves in their case when the man is not in the picture. Until women in Ghana learn to provide for themselves, this nonsense will not stop. This says it hasn't done anything. The issue has been there for a long while. Society puts pressure on ladies to marry. When you marry too and struggle, they tell you, you are a Christian, so hold on. After a month, this case will die and the abuse will continue until the women learn to take their destiny into their hands. Look, this is something that is happening, and this has blown up because she is a musician, because people know her song. That is why this has blown up. Look, I listen, you know, these programs on radios that people go there and then they send their problems to people to talk about it and other stuff. When I listen to them, I'm like, why are people going through this whole shit in marriage? I know, yes, as I said, I am not married, but then I know marriage isn't all about the roses. Sometimes the roses just fall out and then it remains just the thorns. But why go through so much pain, so much suffering in marriage, thinking about the society, thinking about you being a Christian, what your church is going to say? When you receive these beatings every morning, what church now? What do they say when they see you covered in bruises? What do they say? Are they the ones who are being beaten? Are they the ones who are going through this whole thing? Look, I get that the church is a place that we go to worship God, we go to be with our God and all that. But sometimes I'm like, the church should, the pastors, the elders, you know, the impenyinfo in the church should set aside some days. It shouldn't all be about salvation. It shouldn't all be about, you know, all those things in the Bible and other stuff. They should set a date where they just talk about, you know, marriage. They just talk about some of their congregation being in abusive marriages, being in marriage full of a lot of pain, full of. So when I heard about this, and then the church that she goes to, and I am sure that she had told her pastor about this. So I'm wondering what the pastor said to her. I'm wondering what her pastor said to her when she told her pastor that her husband is abusing her and other stuff. I am wondering what is. Let me put it this way: Should the church be blamed? Let me know what you think about it when it comes to people being in abusive marriage and stuff, and then they don't have the courage to leave the marriage because they are thinking about the church. Should the church be blamed? Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. So why are empowered women who earn their own money not leaving their abusive partners? I saw in a video that all the money that she was getting, her husband was taking them all. All the money that she was getting from performing her songs, from her music, the husband was taking it all. Basically, she was like the breadwinner of the family. So sometimes I'm like, it's not about the woman being empowered. It's not about, and look, if she had left the marriage, she would have still been able to take care of herself and then of her children. So I don't know what at all. I think she's the only one who can answer. And but right now, she can't, because I don't know what at all was making her still stay in that marriage. And not just her. Women in abusive marriages, I don't know what is making them stay in the marriage. No woman who is abused isn't aware living is the best often. They are so much aware of everything. Yeah. No person who is abused doesn't know that living is the best option. No person. They know that living is the best option. Living is going to save their life, but they still stay in that abusive relationship. They still stay in that abusive marriage. Well, you can't help somebody who doesn't want help. Yeah, that is all I can say. You can't help somebody who on one kasano unyamwa. So yeah, this is so sad. This is very sad. And then not just her, as I said, a lot of people are going through so much in their marriage, and I am not one for divorce. But then when it comes to being abused, when it comes to your partner abusing you, Masa, run for your life. Your life is way important than the marriage. When it comes to being abused in marriage, your life is way important than that. Because if they take you out of the house with the body bag, as I said, within actually 2 years, the person is going to get married again. So yes, guys, let me know what you think about this whole video. Leave a comment in the comment section. Yeah.